Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the second game of Degen League. We've got a bunch of wild characters out here. Let's start with some analysis of the blue side. We have, in the jungle, let's start, Kenzie on the Amumu. She has not played jungle very much. Amumu is a fantastic starting champion, but it's going to be counter to what she is used to playing. She does not like melee champion. She said before, oh, we're going fast. We got Viego in the mid lane, I believe. Viego has been nerfed in solo lanes. The healing from the minions is now only down to 10% of what it originally was. And as we wait for spectator delay, let's look at the Kled in the top lane. Kled is quite the oddball that I've struggled with for a while, but his power comes from his hero plays with just getting Skarl back up in time. So I'd like to see Joe do some resource management. I know he's done a lot of Gnar, so he should have some prior experience with how that works specifically by dealing damage. So that'll be interesting. And down in the bot lane, we have the Lucian Morgana. So the Morgana is just a fantastic pick in general. The CC literally lasts for 3 seconds with a single ability if you get an Everfrost, which I doubt he will be going. And the ultimate, you can chain it up to 9 seconds of CC from a single person. And it is that CC is why the Lucian is going to be so deadly in this lane. The 3-second route, if they get it to land on an enemy champion, Lucian can unload his entire kit at level 3, and they will have to either base or just die outright. Lucian has so much upfront damage. The saying is do not trade with Lucian until level 3. There is going to be more emphasis on him having to dodge damage, because usually Lucian is in the solo lane and you're just oppressing one person, but you have to work with another person against 2 other people. Moving over to red side, in the top lane, we have the Riven. Riven is a very skill-expressive champion, and I'm very interested to see what Jason has to do. Your Q can only go over walls on the 3rd cast, which was originally a bug, but then Riven mains liked it so much that they changed it from a bug to a feature. But Riven has a very powerful level 1, so especially level 2 as well when you get the dash or the stun. Some people go either at level 2, but they are both very deadly. In the jungle, we have the Udyr, my favorite champion. Udyr does not have an ultimate. Instead, he just has a 4th ability, all of which he can put 6 skill points into. Usually you go the Tiger Stance at level 1, and then into the Bear Stance for the stuns, because Udyr's whole thing is running at you really fast and stunning you, and that's basically all he has to offer. In the mid lane, we got the Donger. Everybody loves the Donger. He puts down turrets and then kicks your ass. That's just kind of how it works. Viego is not going to have a fun time with this. And in the bot lane, we have Sivir Nautilus. Nautilus is a fantastic support right now. Hook champions have always been meta. And the engage and tankiness that Nautilus can bring is very useful in basically every single team comp. And the Sivir, as some people call it, as do I, is very good. Typically does not build crit like a normal marksman, will instead build lethality as indicated by the Dark Harvest. Manamune into Duskblade is very common, and it's just going to be Rebecca's job to throw out lots of Qs, get Dark Harvests, and eventually execute people, because Collector is an awesome item. Runes, we have 3 Conquerors on blue side. Kled, Viego, you'd expect. Amumu can sometimes go Aftershock, but Conqueror is equally as viable, so no problems there. PTA on the Lucian, also very standard. Will get lots of damage. Has opted for the Inspo tree second instead of the Domination tree, which is more common in solo lanes. And Morgana with the Comet, looking for a lot of poke. Those puddles are very easy to land. Riven with the Conqueror, as expected. Sivir mentioned. The Donger with Arcane Comet. Just also getting a lot of poke onto the Viego. So it's going to be interesting what the sustain from the minions will be able to do. It may also be able to sustain off of the turrets. I'm not sure how that interaction works. Phase Rush on the Udyr just wants to be going really fast, and Aftershock on the Nautilus, fantastic item, or rune. You go in for the hook, and then you actually have the durability to survive it. And it is also notable that Kled has TP Ignite. So, don't get caught out, because you have no flash. And it would appear that loading is going very slow. There we go. We are on to the Rift. Xavier, what are your thoughts about this?
Well,
Well, there's a lot going on. Let's get those scoreboards. Oh, we want objective timers, absolutely. Scoreboards are set and ready, and the teams are running onto the Rift. I have pings enabled. That is very good. As I mentioned last game, the way to stop the Amumu Snowball is to invade, and the ping from red side has very much indicated that they want to do just that. We have the Udyr running around and is about to face check into the Kled. Bear Trap on a rope grabs him, grabs Bear Stance first, and the Riven gets the knock-up, and Skarl is somehow still alive at very, very low health. Phil puts down a ward for... Oh, we've got a team fight. Udyr runs in for the stun, flash away from the Amumu, heal goes out, Riven gets the Q3 onto the Viego, ignite onto the Viego. Turrets are doing a lot of damage, binding hits one of the turrets, and blue side has been forced out of their own jungle. They are all standing on a ward. It is 1 minute 20, there is not enough time to counter jungle that blue, so very good job from red side getting that invade, as the bot laners will just walk their way down. A lot of time is being wasted around the red buff on blue side. But yes, the Amumu is very low. Like I said, basically a perfect way to start it. Phil taking 2 tower shots, which makes that very, very bad. And he's just walking his way through mid lane. So there's a lot of XP on the bot side of the map that is not being picked up by anyone. Cam is now the first one down there and should be able to clear out the 3 caster minions. He did not get that last one, sad. But there's a potion popped. It was a longsword start from the Riven, which is very typical nowadays. People like going for an earlier mythic than having the sustain from the Doran's Blade. Binding connects onto the Sivir, no more follow-up, but the Comet gets some good damage. And the wave is already being shoved into the tower. In mid lane, it's going about as you expect. Heimerdinger is pushing up very far because he has all that prio with the turrets, and Sean is just trying to stay alive. Does manage to grab the cannon. As the top laners are fighting out, Binding connects onto the Nautilus in bot lane. But there's once again no follow-up. A good Q from the Sivir gets Cam to below half. As Puddle gets some more chip damage onto the Nautilus, but the shield mitigates a lot of it. Oh, there's an ignite into the top lane. Lots of fighting going on. Jason does not have the speed to chase it down. Skarl is down, so Joe is trying to farm that up. So, very volatile in the top lane. Ignite already used, so that combat summoner is not there. In this case, I would favor the Riven much more now. But the Courage Bar is coming back up very fast. So this will soon become a trade that Jason will not win. Udyr is doing what Udyr does, and power clearing. Does he not have a smite? He's getting awfully low. Amumu comes down into the bot lane. There was a spell shield on the Sivir, So, no kill taken, but bot laner's taken very low. Potions used, all potions used. And Cam is just trying to collect whatever farm. Jason is also shoving in the lane on top. And Grayson just looking to get some chip and push down the minion wave as fast as possible. Those turrets are doing a lot of damage, and you can, in fact, use Viego's passive on the turrets. So that should be some added sustain. I don't know if it counts for the nerfed. 10% sustain. Amumu Q lands onto the Heimerdinger. Flash away, but first blood to the Amumu.
Nice.
Alright, Xavier, in these early moments, what are you thinking? Who do you favor? Never mind, we got a fight in the bot lane. Ignite lands, and Rebecca gets the kill. Set up by the Nautilus. The Ignite, a fight in the top lane. And it looks like the Riven is winning this. But he is taking a lot of minion damage. Flash out. And the minions get the kill. That wave was too big to fight, but Udyr is running top. But there's not much that he'll be able to do with the full health Amumu down there, and Viego is walking upwards as well. Bot laner's taking a recall. TP coming into top lane. Flash from the Udyr, looking for a very aggressive play. The 2v1, the Viego comes in, but is it too late? No, it is not! Udyr gets shut down, Flash blown for that aggressive play, but the fantastic counter gank from Sean was there, giving them the kill. Alright, I think things have calmed down for it. Top laners are backing, or just coming back to the lane with the TP. So, now Xavier, who do you favor in these matchups based on what you've seen so far?
I don't know. Jason kind of surprised me with being a little more aggressive. But...
yeah, Riven loves to be aggressive in those early levels. And that's a nice thing to see out of Jason, since he's typically, as Connor mentioned in the intros, been more of a passive player.
Yeah.
So getting some aggression on, in a lot of cases, is good. Obviously, you don't want to be too aggressive a lot of the time, but good stuff seen out of Jason.
I haven't seen much Kled, so I don't know what to expect from Joe at all.
Yeah, me neither.
And then I think I'm definitely favoring Jason here, I think, for the mid.
Yes, and depending on what the Kled builds, there's going to be, there were a lot of tank Kleds back when the season started, building Sunfire, but it would appear that he's going for the Gore Drinker with the Iron Spike Whip. I would be very surprised to see him. But we got a fight in the bot lane. Lots of damage coming out onto the Nautilus, but the Aftershock, such an amazing rune at keeping you alive when you dive in. Amumu looking for the gank top, does not land it. Morgana Dark Binding lands onto the Nautilus, dash away from Lucian, Ignite onto the Nautilus, and the Ignite picks up the kill from the Morgana. Good trading in the bot side after getting first blooded, I believe. Oh, flashes in from both the AD carries, but the Amumu Q goes wide and no more kills have been secured. But I would like to see teams use that flash discrepancy. But there's an Udyr in the mid, or in the bot jungle. Phoenix Stance picks up the kill onto the Morgana, but does not have the manpower to continue fighting. Or does he? Flash out a Kenzie behind from the Bear Stance, and Sean picks up the kill. But Nautilus goes in, lands the Dredge line onto the Amumu, but there's kill onto the Heimerdinger, and Sean is chasing them out of the... oh, flash in onto the AD carry, stunned up.
Yeah.
And that is a beautiful, almost solo kill, probably. And an Ignite gets the kill onto the Nautilus. So, we have a lot of summoners expended on the side of blue, but it was absolutely worth it. And they are looking to take the first dragon. Jungler is not there, but with the team fight that just happened, I would be surprised to see Red contest this. Buff secured by the Udyr, and is looking down at the dragon, but decides to back up, and I would like to see nobody contesting this. There's basically not a way. and smartly does not go in. This is something that pro casters often talk a lot about, is when a team is taking an objective. If you can't fight it, don't sit there with your thumb up your ass. Go do something else. Get a trade. Take Rift Herald, maybe, if it's a dragon being taken. Or at least push out waves. Experience is very important, especially early in the game. But we've got some aggressive trading going on. The Kled Bear Trap on a Rope does do a small amount of grievous wounds, so that is free without having to buy that item. Spell Shield stops the Morgana Q, and there will be no more trading in that. But Kled was looking to back, but the Udyr is pathing topside. We're about to see some action. Both very low, but Joe does not expect the gank. Udyr is simply too fast. He's going to need a lot of strength to outplay this, and he does not. Riven picks up the kill in the top lane. And a great stun from the Viego onto the mid lane, forces out the ult. Connor steals away the blue buff with the smite, runs down the Amumu. Ults defensively to buy as much time as possible, but Udyr will simply run you down and has phase rush, but Viego is here. Flash away from the Udyr, but the slow from the Heartbreaker picks up the kill, and Sean is unstoppable with 5 kills. So, from the side of red, obviously Sean is the win condition now, maybe was planned from the beginning, but what do they do? Oh, Kled ult down the mid lane, lands onto the Heimerdinger. Ignited flash away, but the follow-up was right there from the Kled. Some trading going on in the bot lane, but looks like no more will connect. Alright, so how does red side stop this Viego? Because Viego is already on his Blade of the Ruined King, and it's going to take a lot of manpower. I'd like to see Connor camping around towards the mid lane, but we have 3 people in the mid lane. Good. Binding lands onto the Nautilus. Ignite on the Nautilus. The knock-up depth charge lands, but we've got fighting in the mid lane. And Amumu picks up the kill. Lots of tower shots taken, but a 3-man successful dive in the mid lane. Rift Herald was picked up by Amumu, but they're opting not to drop it in the mid lane. Maybe looking to get that tower even lower, because Rift Herald will always do 2,000 true damage to turrets. And the more turret plates you take, the more armor the turrets get, so it is always the most efficient to use it on the last 2 plates. And there are 2 minutes left on turret plates, so they should have plenty of time to find the angle to use it. But a lot of members were taking recalls. Bot lane took a recall. And the Kled is pushing up very far into the Riven. There's probably a lot of pressure on Connor right now to help all the different lanes, because mid lane desperately needs help stopping the Viego, and the Kled is shoving up topside. Bot lane is shoving up. Nautilus was on a warding mission, but is not there to support any of his teammates if a fight were to break out. Jason is healing up pretty well, but was able... Oh, gets the stun, or the knock-up, but the Kled's disengage was too good with the recast of whatever ability that is. Connor is looking for a gank in the mid lane. Sean, very wise, playing towards the bush that he has vision in. He does not know where the Udyr is, and was henceforth standing up towards the top river bush. And as such, the Udyr has decided to disengage, but we've got fights going on everywhere. Top lane's dueling, depth charge comes onto the Lucian. Fantastic hook lands onto the Morgana. Morgana is not long for this world. And let's check in what was happening in the top lane. Both laners very low. Jason with the ult, able to pick up without having to go in. That is one of the fantastic things about Riven. Your ult gives you... Oh, Lord, we've got fighting in the bot lane. Sean already picks up a kill. A good stun lands on. And the resets are here. Failed flash over the wall from Phil. Sean is greeting very hard, but has decided to walk away from the turret. And this Viego is getting out of control. 7 kills. That is a lot of money on his head. A TP coming into the top lane. Jason trying to run away, but the Kled ult targeting. There's no way he's getting out of this one alive. Good TP play from the Kled. And the Viego is going in on the Nautilus. Just barely doesn't take that last turret shot. That would have been a hero play from Phil. And we can see some all chat BMing going on. My favorite. But Rift Herald was summoned in the bot lane. Turret plates were not taken with its summon because it was past 14 minutes, but they will take turret. Shelly, yes, is alive now, but you should be able to stop that second charge with this wave and the Sivir. So, first turret taken in the bot lane. And Joe up on the top side is getting a lot of damage onto this tower. Will not be able to finish it off this wave. Amumu clearing around. And a lot of members on the bot side for red looking to set up. Dragon was taken on blue side. So securing some vision with the scuttle. But Connor is looking for a counter jungle and is running straight to the Amumu. With the phase rush procced, you are going very fast. But Lucian shows up. Culling comes out, but the flash away from Udyr keeps him alive. But Viego shows up from the mid lane, knock up onto Viego, but gets the execute from the Heartbreaker onto the Udyr and stuns up the Heimerdinger, gets the second reset and triple kill on the Nautilus. So this Viego is a serious, serious problem. And what can Red Side do? They're getting a wave, or getting waves and turret damage in the top lane, which you were down a TP in the top, which is really all you could do. So, good game sense trying not to rotate down there. Lucian, very low in mid, is getting some turret damage. But red team is picking up their first tower in the top lane. There's just been a lot of action and a lot of talking for me. So, Xavier, anything you have to say at all, say it. Even if it has nothing to do with the game. Something you saw on TV yesterday.
I don't know. To be honest, I did not expect this out of the blue. I was expecting more of a equal game up to this point.
Sean does love his pop-off mid laners. It seems that he will either slaughter you or simply get slaughtered. There's no in-between for him. But we've got a Kled ult down in the mid lane onto the Heim, and there's 3 members in the bot lane, or in the mid lane, and there was no hope for the Heimerdinger from escaping that one. So there is a big snowball that needs to be stopped. Binding lands onto the Nautilus. Joe goes in, definitely as a mistake, but the Gore Drinker onto 2 keeps him alive. Always use your items. You got them for a reason. Udyr looking to posture towards mid to pick off the Kled, but will not be able to, as denying from the Viego and the Morgana. Control ward placed down, trying to clear some vision, but do not place a control ward. You are not prepared to defend. Binding lands at max range, but the minions block the Q from the Kled and does not result in a kill. But there are 4 members sieging mid lane with Demolish. This turret is not long for this world. But disengages, lots of damage coming down from the Heimerdinger with the Liandry's. Do not sleep on Liandry's damage. And you've got 3 Conquerors. And it sucks that you're down a lot of gold, but I need to see some Grievous Wounds coming out. Sometimes it's better to buy Grievous Wounds before you complete your Mythic. Yes, your Mythic is a very large power spike, but in such an extreme situation, flash from the Viego onto the Sivir, but the Sivir spell shields it, And in the 2v1, Viego is shut down, greeting a little too hard there. And it goes over to the Udyr. Obviously would have been better money on the Sivir, as would like to scale up and needs to do some lethality damage. Viego has not built any armor, but a binding lands onto the Kled, picks up the kill. That's actually a lie, what I said, whatever. But Kled comes out, finds the target through the flash onto the Riven. Gore Drinker not used. Too much CC. That's what you hate to see playing against a Morgana. But blue team is now going for this third dragon, and they are going to be on Mountain Soul Point. That is very dangerous. This Viego has not been building any armor, but a Mountain Soul is going to make him exponentially harder to kill. So, looking at itemization, we've got Gore Drinkers for both of the top laners, Sunfire for both of the junglers. Even though Chemtank and Udyr got nerfed into the ground, I believe Chemtank is still better on Udyr because all you have is movement speed, might as well get a lot of it. But also on the Udyr, Bramblevest picked up, looks to be going for the Thornmail second with the Giant's Belt, which is really important with that active Grievous Wounds application, because with the Bramblevest, it's only if they hit you that it gets applied. But if you stun somebody with your Bear Stance, then you get to apply 60% Grievous Wounds. But we've got a fight, or more of just a Bear Slap, onto the Kled in top river. And Sean picks up another kill onto the Heim in mid lane. Honestly, don't think picking up the body was worth it because he took a lot of damage from the ult turret. But 3 members from blue team are in mid lane. They really want this tower, and taking mid tower is going to open up so much more of the map for them. Looking for these picks, which have just been falling into Sean's hands practically. But Jason, desperately looking to defend his turret from the brink of death, is not winning this fight against the Kled. Kled is doing too much damage, but the dive from the Kled does not find the Riven on the target. Will not be able to follow. Do not go for a greedy recall here, Jason. But the Kled will not be following since there is a tier 1 to take in top lane. But the Nautilus is a little too far by himself. Viego comes in, flash over the wall, keeps him alive. And the big brain karma emote coming out from Phil. So Joe gets the combo onto the Heim, and the Gore Drinker just does so much. But those turrets are doing a lot of damage, and Liandry's very, very close to killing. That's unfortunate, but the Udyr is coming fast. Flash over to the alcove and shut down onto the Udyr. That was 800 gold. That is a lot. Still not the best on the Udyr, but if he's going to buy that Thornmail, he's going to need to be the one applying that Grievous Wound, since they are 1 stun per champion, but mid tower is finally falling down. You want to get your champions online very soon. Kled picks up the Titanic Hydra, Viego on the Divine Sunderer and Blade of the Rune King. The Nautilus is running down the Lucian, flash away, because the follow-up from Udyr would have meant his death. But Viego, looking for the 1v2, does not land the stun. Hook in from the Nautilus, and oh my god, Sean, you're almost into. Culling does not pick up any kills. Flash away from the Heim, from the Morgana Dark Binding, keeps him alive, hits the turret instead. They are desperately trying to cling on to the wave, but what they're hoping for is Sean to keep doing what he was doing and almost dying by himself, looking for the 1v2 outplays. Blue sides are very low with the smite onto the Scuttle Crab, bringing the Amumu up a lot more. Kled taking out control wards in bot river, but it looks like blue side is going for a recall. I don't know the exact timer on... Oh, there's Jet. I don't know the timer onto the dragon, but it is within 1 minute, and they need to contest for this. If they do not contest this dragon, the game is going to be over. Do not roll over and die. You need to have the hero outplay here. The Udyr needs to get the CC onto everybody in order for this to work. But Kledult comes in, and in the mid lane, just a tad too far up, flash from the Amumu. But the Kledult does not find anybody. The Amumu in onto the Udyr, ignited, and the Viego picks up the kill. But we've got more fighting down. Skarl runs away. The Puddle from the Morgana picks up the kill onto the Heim. The Amumu picks up the kill onto the Nautilus. Oh, so many. The Lucian kills the Riven, the Amumu kills the Sivir, and it is 5-4-0 team fight for the side of blue. The pockets are just filled with gold, and there's almost no way you win that in a fair fight. And Connor is being Connor. Mountain Soul secured for blue team. It is... doing math, a 7,000 gold lead. So Xavier, what do you think? Do you think they should wait it out or try to team fight? Because frankly, I don't think there's a way they should team fight. The gold lead becomes less egregious, but looking at the scaling, I'm not sure if Red has the scaling for it. Udyr falls off very fast. Viego, his scaling doesn't matter. He's so far out of control. The Sivir will be doing a lot of damage, but has not picked up a mythic. Manamune finally transforms into the Muramana. So that is thankfully going to be a big power spike for the Sivir. And Red is just trying to clear out some wards in their jungle, because blue has just been creeping up so far. The 3 outer towers in all 3 lanes have been taken, and there is a lot on the line here for Red. They need some hero plays. Scuttle secured by the Udyr, but sitting around, there is a Viego on your tail. But Amumu chooses not to go in. Did not have vision of the Riven, but may have thought that somebody was on the way. Nautilus makes his way up. All 5 red members going in onto the Amumu. Knock-up lands, Ignite's going down. Udyr needs to stay alive, and the Viego just barely gets the reset, but is finally killed. Kledult goes in, Gorge Rinker lands onto the Heim. Jason picks up the kill onto the Morgana, flashes away, but the bot laners are both very low and will be picked up. The Sivir picked up by the Kled, is wanting to dive, but does not choose to. And Jason somehow killed Lucian.
I don't know how.
Probably a lot of turret damage in there. Might have been a little greed there. So this is what I think Red side has to work with. They have to fight at their towers. Force them to fight you with that extra tower. Because tower damage, there's a lot going on. You don't have an Iron Solari like Red side does, because if you're diving the tower, the Morgana has the Imperial Mandate. There's nothing there to protect your teammates other than the Black Shield, but does not reduce physical damage, which is what turrets do. Kled, pushing up very aggressively in the mid lane, knows there is a Morgana soon to follow. The Udyr is looking to wrap around, but there were wards all over. And a good Black Shield onto Kled and a Dark Binding dissuades Connor from going in onto that. All of that time, Viego was shoving out waves in the top lane, but Red side is looking to walk up and find him. But they're posturing down into the mid lane because there's a wave, and all of blue team is now in the mid lane. The Riven sent up to top lane to go fight that wave that is double stacked up there. And it looks like blue team is looking for either Riven or no, they're going on to the Baron. So it's going to be up to red to figure out that this is happening. And a ward over the wall does let them see. That control ward onto the back. Hero play time. And the Amumu picks it up. The culling goes down.
Ooh.
People are dying everywhere. 2 kills in the Baron pit. Frankly, the Nautilus didn't need to go in there. That was a guaranteed one-way trip. And you kind of just handed yourself over as a consolation prize. In those scenarios, that is what you should have gone for. There was no way you are winning a team fight. You need to go for a cheeky Baron steal. But as I said, one-way ticket. Stun lands onto the Heim, but the flash does not get him away from the Heartbreaker. And blue team are sieging very hard onto the mid lane with the Red Bull Baron power play. Choosing to go for recalls, sending Lucian down into the side lane on split push duty. You want... I just realized Lucian has a Divine Sunderer. That is not what I expected. At all. Like, at all. It's gonna be interesting to hear from him what they are talking about. So, that is a very interesting. Divine Sunderer into Manamune. And has a second Sheen item. I don't know if those Spellblade abilities stack, which that's just going to require some research, because they are unique passives, and I believe they are both named Spellblade, so I think that the second passive won't work. Obviously going for the Essence Reaver, because Essence Reaver is the solution to Lucian's mana problems, but he has no crit as it stands other than the single crit cloak, so the crit won't really matter. But because they took the Mountain Soul so early, they are onto the Elder Dragon, but getting some poke down onto the Viego, but there is too much. The resets come through, and they are chasing the Heim down. And that is just one kill after the other. But there was a single consolation prize. The Udyr and the Sivir got the kill onto the Kled in the top lane. But there's no way that your Udyr was getting down there to steal the dragon. I would have thought to send the Udyr down there on the one-way smite mission and just stop them from basically ending the game with this push. They have the Baron and they have the Elder. They're going to be sieging towers very quick, and they are very willing to turn and fight. However, Baron has run out, but the kill potential is still very real. There's a lot of damage coming out from the Imperial Mandate on the Morgana puddle, so even this tank Udyr has to turn around. He does not have any magic resist, which is correct in this case, I believe, because the main damage threats, Kled, Lucian, and Viego, are all AD, and the Morgana damage is not something you should be posturing to fight, because there are much bigger problems. The Warden's Mail and another cloth armor picked up from the Udyr makes this ever more apparent. He just wants to be an armor stacking beefcake, because at this point in the game, that's all Udyr can really do. But there are 3 red members pathing down towards the bot side with the Kled splitting. I believe was not spotted by either team, so red will now disperse. With this Elder, I would like to see blue team forcing a fight, because there's a lot of talk going around in the LCS with teams not being able to close out games. You have this Elder, the insanely powerful Elder buff, just force a fight. But a flash from the Morgana keeps him alive. I think blue should just group up, 5v5. There's basically no way that you lose this team fight. You have the Elder, you have a, oh lord, 11,000 gold lead. And this is just looking doomed for red side, plain and simple. There's going to need to be some serious inting and some serious hero plays. One or the other will not cut it. It's gotta be both. And this Viego is going to be so hard to kill because he has picked up Sterix Gauge and Guardian Angel. The shield and the revive are going to be detrimental. You need to focus him down, but he's going to be surviving for such a long time. I think that red side just has to find a pick onto one of these squishies. The Lucian has been off in side lanes recently, and that's basically your only target. You'll need at least 3 members to kill this Viego 3v1. And the Kled probably too, but a hook onto the Amumu is not your intended target, but Rebecca flashes away from the blue team coming around. Viego gets away, Kled ult goes down, the Nautilus will soon follow. And blue team is on the hunt. Speaking of on the hunt, Sivir's ultimate was just used. So, support down on red side. There's going to need to be some hero plays. Baron is being taken. I think Udyr just needs to run straight towards it, but he is not. He's just power clearing. There is no blast cone, but he does have flash. And there's going to be a big siege coming. But there is hope for red side. They took Elder buff, but that's some big damage from the Sivir onto the Lucian. He's got to go home. As I was saying, the blue team took Elder buff, but got 0 kills with it. And red is now chasing down the Kled in the bot lane through the Baron minions. Baron minions will do a lot of damage, but this Kled is pretty damn hard to kill. Riven forced to flash away. Sterix Gauge pops. Shield from Riven Gore Drinker just barely keeps him alive. And that is the picks that we needed to see from this team. But now, there's some follow-up going, and blue is hungry for Jason. He's just got to keep running. Do not go for a lazy recall. Both teams posturing towards this bot river. There is not a dragon soon-ish that I am aware of. But the fact that this game is going so long is actually helpful for red side because the gold difference does not mean as much. However, Elder Dragon is spawning in 45 seconds, and this is your do or die moment. Kled is still dead, and there's some backing on blue side. I think you just gotta force something right now. They don't know that blue side is gone, but this Lucian is on his own, but they don't know where the rest of it is, so there just weren't enough wards. They are going for the Fnatic brush play. However, nobody is there to play for. So we'll have to see how this play turns out. Because honestly, you're just gonna need some cheese at this point. Clearing out the control ward in Dragon Pit. You are very far forward. Dredge line onto the wall keeps him alive. But the flash from the Viego onto the Riven will just pick him off instantly. The Fnatic brush play is just getting stomped because of the Amumu and Morgana ults. And now the Udyr and the Sivir just have to run for the hills and let blue team take this dragon. Viego standing very menacingly in mid lane. Wants to dive, but knows that with the Udyr, there's no way that he is getting one of them. But Elder Dragon picked up. It is a 15,000 gold lead. That's a lot of gold. And that's a lot of items. And let's see who's near full build. Obviously, Sean is near full build. He's got that Quicksilver Sash looking towards the Silvermere Dawn as the tank or the bruiser item. but mid lane inhibitor is being sieged. Even without the Baron, they are now onto the Nexus towers. Kled dives in, but he's so damn tanky. 3-4 dead on the side of red, and that is going to be the game-ending push. They played around Sean. Sean got early, and that is GG.
Well, damn.